did she support all you kids?
She worked.
She worked.
What did she do?
She worked for a cookie
She worked in a
company.
bake,
She
she worked in a
tailor place.
shop.
They used to pay 'em, yeah.
Scotch woolen mills. She put the pockets in.
Pockets, and they gave her little slips, every pocket you put the slip in, and a book, sort of. And then she'd come home, we'd count it, that's how she knew how much money.
She worked in a nursery, that's where she came, Phil and I were little, I've told you this before. When she came that evening to take him home, or take both of us home, he had the mark of a hand on his face.
Well, a good lady had, one of the nurses slapped him.
There was one,
She took us home, she quit that job.
there was one Saturday I got a job in a bow tie factory.
Jazz bow. We used to call them jazz
Yeah,
bow ties.
It is a bow tie.
Yeah, we call them
That's
bow
a good-
ties, but we
yeah.
used to call them jazz bow ties. I don't know why.
You had to make a gross of bow ties for $2. That's 12 dozen
144.
144.
for $2. I worked my fanny off before I made a dozen. I worked there a couple of Saturdays. I said, you know what, mister? Take your bow ties and stuff them in your tongue.
Mama used to make work at ties.
Yeah, my mother worked at a tie
When you were
company.
little, she used to bring the pieces home.
Ties, she
And
made
we would
worked
tie
at ties.
your pigtails with it. They had all different colors.
And then we used to tease Phil unmercifully.
Yeah, tell about that.
We'd walk along the street, we never had sweets, mother didn't have the money. And if we'd see an empty ice cream carton, we'd pick it up and throw it in the sink. And when he'd get up, or even candy wrappers, all in the sink, not in the garbage. He'd get up and he'd look in the sink and he'd see, he'd start sobbing. They had ice cream and I had nothing. Sweet rolls, he'd bring the ruler to the table in the morning, and he'd measure the frosting. Whichever one had the most was his.
And when Mama used to go away to visit Fanny,
Yeah, the
then we'd
Bernie
have
would
water
take.
fights.
That's what
Fill up
Bernie.
bags of water and throw it.
She left you by yourselves?
Well,
No,
my
and
sister
Bernie
Bertie
was
was like the
How old
mother.
was that
And
bird?
Bernie would be.
She was the oldest.
So one day they
Maybe
filled
her
up the
one.
bathtub with water. They took the hinges off the bathroom door, because I used to run in there to escape from them after I doused them.
They
And
threw her in the
after I
bathtub.
got them with the bags of water, they chased me. I ran into the bathroom, the door comes off, and I landed, they put me in the bathtub. They used to climb up on a ladder to go up on the roof and throw bags of water down.
Was that in
Yeah.
That's when Bobby was in Richmond. They would do
Yeah,
all
we're all
kinds
little
of
kids.
crazy things.
And when did you learn Ungala Bungala?
That's, we had a club when we were young. I, was it
Yeah,
like,
it was a big apartment building.
it was two buildings, not really, they're three flats, but in between them, you know, there's like a well all the way down, a light shaft they used to call it. Every building had an opening, so either a bedroom window or a bathroom window. So down in the hole where the basement, we made a club, the boys, and they were listening.
Bill and I were on the porch listening.
So that's when we
One
started.
day,
We had to have a tough password, you know, they wouldn't like, that they wouldn't know. So
one
they
day
called
we
it.
sprung, the two of us sprung it on them, they wanted to kill us. Ungala Bungala Picty Mooney, Yobi Sign, Ras My Mini, Iti Picty Bungaliki, Yalla Lala.
Intimate to
Susala, Falbadinka, Dinka Da, Falbadi, Falbadi, Sri Swan. Well, when
That
they
was our
heard that,
password.
they wanted to wring
In
our
order to
necks.
get in the club,
They
you
wanted
had
to
to
wring
say
our
the
necks.
password.
We had the password down pat, and the two of us said it in unison.
And you know that
Did it
Elaine,
have a meaning?
no,
Or was it just funny
just
words?
words.
It was like in a hole.
We had a guy in
Little
Little States,
shaft.
by the name, he'd
We
make
would
crazy
listen,
names.
we
Yeah.
would listen.
They were listening to all our meetings.
There was one Saturday,
Oh, he's back again.
Go ahead.
I got a job in a printing shop to sweep up $50. Swept it up. Oh, he says, you make a good job. He said, maybe you'll wash my car.
All for the same 50
He
cents?
said, I'll give you another 50 cents. I washed his car. He comes out and opens up the door, and I was by the door. My finger slipped in the door, and he closes the door. Was I screaming?
It
He
hurt.
says, boy, chick, don't scream, I'll give you $5.
So you put your other hand in the
No, I-
Give me 10.
$5,
No, besides
it was like
that, he took me to
100.
the
I think.
doctor. You
You
see,
can see it, yeah, sure.
I still got a mark on there. He broke my knuckle.
How about the time we were kids and we were playing New Year's Eve? And we were playing Puss in the Corner. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that game. See, a person, kids standing in all four corners and one in the middle. And you gotta come out and like tease him. And if he grabs you before he gets back to the corner, he goes in the middle and you go there.
The
So we-
pussies in the
Meanwhile,
corner.
New Year's Eve, we all had our horns with the metal bases. So I tried to back in the corner and he gets me right in the tush.
Fat Newman, what
Fat
was his
Newman.
name, Fat Newman?
He come out with a piece of meat and like, the thing is quivering on that horn, end of that horn.
So I get him home.
We get home, I'm walking
Phil
home.
and I
like-
get him in the bathroom, we're trying to stench the blood. And Bubby's knocking at the door, what are you doing in there?
She was going away.
She was supposed to be going out for New Year's Eve. He started, "Clog us, man!
She, she said, open the door. I said, open the door. So finally Frida or Phil opened the door and she sees blood running down.
If you broke a fingernail, there was
She'd be
panic.
hysterical.
Bubby would scream. She couldn't bear the thought that any of us were hurt in any way.
Well, that's when I fell off that porch and hurt this darling knee. We didn't want to tell her. So I crawled home again with, well, she,
That's when their grandmother, my Bubby died, and they had
2
her,
weeks
she
later.
made mother promise that she wouldn't send her to the chapel. In those days, I don't know why. So they had her laid out in the living room. In the meantime, he fell off the first floor with this big slab. That's why he's got that lovely leg now. And we schlepped him home, went through the back, and got him into the back bedroom so that Bubby wouldn't see that he was hurt. In the meantime, we must have hurt you more.
Sure. My calf was like a football.
It was a big slab like this thick.
So again, she come, knock it on the door again.
Good smell.
She knew what trouble was.
Tell them about your friend Marvin, who used to sleep out on that cold.
His name was Marvin Greenberg. And he always used to say, when the kids would say hi, Marvin, he'd say, don't call me Marvin, call me Tarzan. He was a big, husky, bruising type of man. And he'd always sleep up, you know what a colonial porch is? with
An
the
open
whole-
porch.
They had a bed out there, and he'd sleep there, summer and winter. Well, one winter, it had to be that much snow. We were going up to see talk to him about something. I actually had to push the snow for Marvin, under snow. He's sleeping out
And
there.
what about the buttons?
And he died an early, yeah.
Of course he died an early age.
Yeah,
did.
on his
On his
pants.
barn, instead of regular buttons, he had coat buttons. So Marvin with the coat buttons on his barn.